afternoon. So I had already recorded what I wanted to say kind of at the beginning of the reading, but I had to start again because I forgot to look at some of the intentions. But anyway, I pick up from this new moon in Scorpio an energy of abstract. It's got an abstract feel to it, and I feel the closest way to describe this feeling is that someone is talking to me in another language, yet I have a good 75% understanding of what is trying to be relayed to me, even though I cannot understand a word that's being said. And another way of looking at it is like it's like an abstract piece of art, and keep being drawn to it, yet it makes no sense to look at, but something about it holds a message or holds a relatability to looking like something. And that's what I feel this Scorpio new moon's energy feels like. It's not, it's definitely not soft, and it's definitely not hard, but there is, you know, the beautiful thing about Scorpions is there is nothing not deep or intense about them, but the part of them that is really refreshing and lovely within their intensity and their depth is their humor. I know many Scorpions in my time. I am, you know, I was in part raised by a Scorpion. My father is a Scorpion, and I've had many of friends who are Scorpions, and they've always been very good teachers, whether it's through negative experiences or through really positive. Now my experiences with Scorpions is a lot more positive, but even when I've had negative experiences with Scorpions, it's never that they're the one sign I've never been like, because I had a negative experience with one, it's put me off, whereas some other signs it's like, oh no, there's way too many similarities come through that, like, just I am going to send love, but I can't have that type of sign in my life. Whereas like Scorpions, it's just a forever forgiving thing, and maybe that's because of a paternal and parental experience I've originally had with them. But there's something that's very endearing about a Scorpion, even if you don't understand a Scorpion and understand their depths. But yeah, this energy about them is they're more abstract, they're more you know, I talk about the uncomfortable a lot, and I feel like the theme has been a lot about, you know, touching on these deeper parts in ourselves, not necessarily darker, just deeper parts. But what I do feel is like the Scorpion is here to confront us about what it is we truly want in the world. A Scorpion, I've got a beautiful friend who is a Scorpion, and she always asks, how is your heart? And she was the first person in my whole life to ever ask me that question, and mean it. And I didn't take it, I tell a lie. Someone else, a different sign, a Leo, had asked me that question before, a female Leo, and this is a female Scorpion. And there was no sincerity in the person asking. It was a prying energy, which was really strange. I've never experienced that before, and I was really offended by that when the person asked me, because I picked up on the energy of what they were really sending. Now when my Scorpion friend asked me, it's so men and so felt, and it's my favorite question she asks me, because she always asks me right on time. She always engages, very psychic. So you know, Scorpions have a lot of love in their heart, and that's usually misconstrued as like possessive, or a lot of people put Scorpions down for the way they love. But when a Scorpion loves you, they love you. But yeah, there can be like an abstract nature to their love, and that's a beautiful thing. It's just different. Bit of Rhiannon. Wonderful. I think Stevie's a Taurus, which makes hella sense. But yeah, anyway, I feel that this moon has that quality about it, an abstract feeling, and understanding a language. So I feel like the guides are giving us messages and giving us a guidance to go through that door, and they're saying it to us in a different language, but we understand what they're telling us to do, and we do it. And when we come through, we're like, and then they start talking English to us, and we get the complete confirmation of what we already knew that they were saying, if that makes sense. So it's this kind of like inner knowing. Okay, so the guides have just said it's about tapping into the higher self. So for any of you that don't understand about the higher self is your soul, spirit. So you might call yourself, you know, the Holy Spirit, or you might call it your soul. You might just call it your spirit. You might call it the higher self. You might call it inner self. What's the other one? Responsible adult can be another one. So they're saying that you need to tap into that, and that is the Scorpion's I feel like that's the Scorpion's strength and downfall. I've known Scorpions that are so great at being in touch with that part of themselves and being able to remind you to be in touch with that before making a decision. And then I've known some terrible Scorpions in my life who are so far removed from that and are insulted when you ask them to go back into that space. So but they definitely do hold a part of the key with teaching other signs and teaching, you know, the rest of the world about tapping into that part of yourself. So that is what this abstract conversation is who is your higher self, which is good because that helps with the ritual. So now I can give you something to do and your meditation. But the higher self is a beautiful part of us. It's the true part of us. It's the bigger part of us that is within our body and then deep into the earth, as well as throughout the universe. It's so large in presence. So sometimes, you know, our little tiny body version is so not connected, but we're always connected. But the guides are saying, you know, sometimes you choose to disconnect, but you're actually never not connected to it, but you're choosing to ignore that more trusting voice and loving voice for yourself, and listening more to the ego, or maybe the wounded part of the inner child, or, you know, all those different aspects. So the energy that I'm picking up is abstract love, abstract way of loving. So that could just be a different way of loving and connecting with the higher self. So let's see how it goes now with the reading. I have some intentions that people have sent me, and I've also had obviously I've had a lot of you take part later than usual, so I haven't asked for intentions from you guys because the timing wasn't right. So let's get into it. So let me just pause a bit of Stevie. I call upon Allegra. Allegra, I ask you to open up the gates for all involved in this reading, myself included. I call upon Archangel Michael to remove any low vibrations, entities, energies that do not need to be here around myself or around anyone else. Please remove those now for anyone at any time that they are watching this. Time is an illusion. We are already doing this together. Sorry, for you guys that don't see me read, sometimes I burp. It's just my way of connecting with spirit. Passing gas, beautiful, huh? Okay, and I call upon the ancestors of the highest vibration, the guides, the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, and all high vibrational energy to come forward now to give us messages of clarity, confirmation, and guidance surrounding how to receive more, how to be open to help, anything to do with receiving love, and also how to connect higher to the divine, which is beautiful because we've already had a message of surrounding the higher self and nurturing that part of ourselves. But please, can you clarify and give more detail on that for us? And I call upon the universe, all that is, God, light, source, and whoever is watching believes in. I ask you to connect to that part of yourself, and you give us messages of clarity, confirmation, and guidance of the highest vibration of the greater good with harm to none to those involved. And so it is. Okay, so we've already kind of done a bit of the psychic part. There is also the message of being like light-hearted. The beautiful thing about Scorpio energy is, yes, they're intense and they've got depth, but they've got a great sense of humor. They've got a great, I think I might have said this and I might be repeating myself, but there's just a great energy of, I suppose softening the blow. They're great at softening the blow. But you'll always be able to talk seriously with the Scorpion, but sometimes even they get a bit like, come on, let's lighten up, let's chill out. And obviously depending on what sign you are, it can be, you know, different. Okay. Okay, interesting. Haven't even sort of asked anything about this particular part, so that's not really got anything surrounded to it. They're just messages they're giving us, so we'll take that as themes, energy. What is important for us to know? Oh, nice, nice. Now this is very interesting, beautiful. Okay, I just want to pull an arcana on that, major. Nice. Okay. Also, this is death season. Even though we're not even into winter yet, we're still in technically in autumn and fall for my Americans. And but death season is and the death card, the ego card in this deck that I'm using, is the representation of Scorpio energy. I wanna be with you everywhere. Okay, let's just start with that for now. We'll come back to outcome. So, children, ideas and manifestation, new love. Now, what I get about the children part is it's a little bit to do with inner child, but not too much. I think as much as, like, you know, I'm an advocate, I love us doing inner child work, it's really important, but there's children around us to learn from. So I feel like this is a message to, like, if you have no children in your life, why? And it could be, you know, it's not to judge yourself and be angry at yourself. It could be that there's no children in the family anymore, or, you know, you don't. So go and put yourself in a park and observe children, you know, anywhere that you're in the world, whether it's cold or not. Go wrap yourself up and just observe children. That's another beautiful quality about Scorpions is, yes, there is a seriousness to them, but there can also be this very childlike energy about the Scorpion, so that there's an energy, there is a need to observe children. And I don't feel like this is that connected to the inner child. I feel it's more go and see children when you're in the supermarket. Just kind of like take a couple of seconds. No, the mums aren't going to notice. Just, you know, just notice how they're interacting with the world and what they do and their innocence, and how does that inspire you? Because then they're saying you should be inspired by these inspirations, the ideas and inspiration. And I think for those, because we got new love in the themes, most people that have sent me their intentions, and don't worry if you haven't, it doesn't matter, this is also, you know, a collective consciousness piece, and there's nothing wrong with hearing a message about love. When it comes to receiving that good love, that love that you deserve, that love that you give, which is a post that I put up recently, you have to be open to innocence. You have to be open to things going wrong. You have to be open to sometimes the communication failing, but not failing to the point of detriment, just failing in that moment and then finding a new solution. And children are great at that. Children are beyond forgiving within anything to do with love. You could really shout at a child and they'll love you tomorrow. Obviously within reason, with, you know, how much you imprint, but even then, like, yes, usually it sucks in for them later, or sinks in, sorry, for them later, that, oh yeah, that person made me kind of have this inner child issue. But in the moment, they'll forgive you and usually want to try and receive more love from you. So in regards to anyone wanting to connect or receive more, you need to go and specifically go and watch children. How do children receive? And what's the difference between becoming an adult and then and now and all that good stuff? Sorry, I want to change the song because I like the next one more. So for new love and for receiving anything to do with love, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a friend, whether it's a new relationship, whatever that love is, whatever love means to you, you need to go, and the guide to show me, go and observe children's view of love. If you have an opportunity to ask a child, what does love mean to them? Ask them. What a beautiful question to ask them. They're going to love it. Or look at you like, I don't know. And then hug you and be like this. You know, kids are cute. So what's important for us to know on this new moon was manifestation. Yes, yes, yes. I love it when it's that on point, because manifestation is what the new moon is all about, right? So manifestation. So I really feel like this time is a moment to be in touch with not a bigger dream as such, but definitely something deeper in you that you want. Being that we're in Scorpio season, we're going to dig deep on this new moon. But there's a manifestation in there that is maybe being avoided out of feeling like, oh no, I should just, you know, work on this first and like, what do you really, really, really want is what the guides are saying. And in moving forward with that, forgiveness, which is such a good card. This was the one that I got excited about a minute ago with forgiveness, is because Scorpions, I'll be real, I think Scorpions struggle with forgiveness. They struggle with letting go. And it's not that they hold grudges, but they really find it hard to forget. So therefore, you know, if you're good at forgiving, you understand that like forgetting isn't what it's about. But for the Scorpion, I find that forgetting is so hard that it's like, well then how can I forgive, because I can't forget what they did. And it's not about forgetting what the person did or a situation that happened or something he was put into that was uncomfortable. It's about forgiving they're saying forgiving the truth of it. So I feel like that's maybe more specific for somebody watching, but the forgiveness is based in the truth of what you felt. And I often say, when I'm forgiving someone, I was being true in it. You wasn't, and that's not my business. It hurt me, and I don't condone what you did, but therefore at least I can have some compassion for myself that actually it's not my fault, or it's not necessarily something that I have to worry about that I did wrong, because it's your problem. So forgiveness, okay? So forgiveness is hard on a Scorpio new moon, because Scorpions, like I said, I feel they have not all Scorpions, obviously I can't talk of Scorpio, I'm just talking from opinion. None of this is ever fact, but I find that Scorpions are the ones that can either be very dismissive about forgiveness, like, yeah, I forgive you, but they really haven't. But they're like, yeah, of course I forgave that person ages ago, but they haven't quite got to the depths of it. Or there's someone who is so in the depths of it that forgiveness is really hard, because the forgetting part is so prominent in the mind. So making a complex decision, Seven of Water. So maybe there's a need to do a bit of research when it comes to the energy of what to forgive, what to manifest. Because I think that what I'm picking up is forgiveness is blocking certain manifestations. So there is a need to forgive for something that has happened in order for the manifestation to come in. So that's complex, because that might take a bit of digging, it might take a bit of pulling apart, it might get a bit uncomfortable. But like I said, it's Scorpio season, it's a Scorpio new moon. That's what this type of moon is all about, because it brings you power. And you know, there's nothing better than power, and when utilized right, obviously we know we've got plenty of people in power who are not, well, they're abusing it. But let's focus on the good, and let's focus on what power is good for. And power is good for being confident, man, like getting fucking shit done. You know, when you believe in yourself, like if I didn't have a form of power within myself and belief in my own power, I wouldn't bother to do these moon packages, because I would have complete doubt that no one's going to actually have an interest in what I do. But it was an idea I came up with a friend only 6-7 months ago, and it's really, really going well. So it's a case of power is actually fueling a lot of confidence. And you know, when those two things go hand in hand, life gets a lot easier. So they're just saying, have power in dissecting something, have power in researching something, and forgiving something or someone in order to have these beautiful manifestations. So that is the importance of this new moon. Now I'm just going to ask for a couple of cards on the outcome. Tell me, Scott, no, you can't escape. Tell me sweet little lies. Nice. So there'll be some sort of union, there'll be some sort of partnership, contract. coming into your own through this new moon. And I always say, like, this could happen next month, next week thingy, but give yourself the, like, sort of I always take it to the opposition of the sign. So Scorpio's opposition is, what was the full moon in? Taurus. So that's your opposition, that's the Scorpio's opposition. So take this up to, so from now to Taurus season, this could manifest. This could take till the next Scorpio season, but it could take, like I said, not very long at all. But just give yourself windows, give yourself, you know, space. But there is partnerships coming forward, and there's definitely a coming into your own through this particular manifestation this month with this new moon. And freedom. All together now. Freedom. Freedom, I like that. I'm gonna pull one more arcana, major, and high priestess, coming into your own. It's just a message of coming into your own as your outcome. How beautiful is that? So for those that had the intention of wanting to bring teachers forward, or to receiving more and to receiving love, this is about coming into your own. Coming into your own is the aim, so that whoever comes in, or anyone that you want to be giving you the love that you deserve, they recognize that, and they have their own thing, and they have, you know, coming into their own, and you are two complete people, whether it's a friend, whether it's a lover, whatever, whether it's a partnership for a career, business, whatever. There is a union, these two people are completely different looking, but they both have, you know, they complement each other. They complement each other. Even though he stood higher up, you don't think of him as less, because of his smile shows that, you know, there's a different energy about him. He brings more serious energy, and he brings more fun energy perhaps, but regardless, there is like a union here. Okay, so that's your reading for the Scorpio new moon. Lots and lots of trusting in the forgiveness, trusting your power and your confidence, trusting, because I didn't actually do this card, Six of Fire. This is celebration card. There's a lot to celebrate from this new moon. I feel like this new moon will be one that you remember when your manifestations come true. Being inspired by children, go and watch and observe children. If you have children, you've got homework on your doorstep. If you don't have children, go to a park, go in a supermarket, just observe them. Go in a toy shop, you know, you can't get away from it. Observe children, how they love. If you have an opportunity to ask a child how they love, what does love mean to them, ask, you know, ask them these obscure, abstract questions, like I was saying from Scorpio new moon. I'm excited. I look forward to doing your meditation and sending all the rest of it with you. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Do not feel daunted, is that word? Don't feel overwhelmed. It's all good. Love.